Hello friends, I am Chevee. Welcome to my shed. How are you today? How's life in your world? How's things where you are? Hope it's all great and wonderful. Everything here is good. And, we've had this conversation a lot of times over the last 6 years about my uncomfortableness with money and money always being an issue for me. Not necessarily that I'm poor. I was poor for the most of the last 6 years, which, by the way, I'm good. Everything's better now. But about specifically about like doing work for money. Now I have a job, and they pay me, and I do my job. But that's a different story, right? I'm a salaried employee, which means I get paid to do what's asked of me, not necessarily, to do X number of this or whatever. I get paid to do the job that is asked of me, and that's what I make. And whatever that job however much time that consumes is how much time that consumes. And sometimes it's, more than than uh, than a normal work week. Other times it's not. It's just how it works, right? What I'm specifically talking about is taking money from other people to do things for them. And I've always had a problem with it. I don't like working that way. And this came up because yesterday and then again today, two situations arose where I was able to help somebody or am potentially able to help somebody for money, right? And that's always a problem. So yesterday, a coworker of mine had asked me last year if I could make something for them, and then we never really followed up on it. I wasn't really sure I understood what it was they wanted. Yesterday they mentioned it again and then showed it to me, and it's an interesting project. Like, I'm actually intrigued by it on a bunch of different levels, and so that's cool because normally I'm not interested in doing. I don't like doing boring stuff, right? It's an interesting project. But it's a semi. Here's the thing. It's one of those projects that looks really simple, really just, oh, you just cut like some strips of wood and that's all you have to do. But it is actually somewhat complex. There's a bit of engineering involved, a decent amount of engineering involved, in fact. And the original version of this, which is no longer available. It's something that they saw, that used to be available. It's no longer, the company that used to make it doesn't make it anymore. It was like a $600 item or a $500 item. And they wanted one. And so they went to a local woodworking shop, and the local woodworking shop told them $5,000, which is outrageous. Like, let's be honest. I could make it for the $500 and I could make a profit at that. I think. I'm not positive, but I feel like I can make it at that $500 and make a profit at it. So I haven't quoted them anything yet. I've just been kind of letting it, like, how the process is, the engineering challenge that I need to solve. How would that work? And I think I know, and I think that I could come up with a pretty easy to replicate way of manufacturing this, and make it for them. But again, I still haven't given them a price. Today, I happened to be in the right place for a friend who needed some website assistance, was struggling to get something accomplished. It was a pretty tight deadline. And I said, I happen to be a web developer. That's what I do. And they were like, great, can I call you? And I said, sure. And so they called me, and I walked them through a real simple solution for their problem. It's not the correct solution, but it got them through the day. And they said, maybe you could help me work out this other problem I have. What's your rate for that? And I was like, I don't really have a rate for that because I don't really do freelance work, but we can come up with something. Like, get back to me when you're ready to have that conversation and I'll take care of you. Like, I don't really do freelance work. When I do freelance work, it's because I really like the person and because I'm willing to help them because they're a friend, not necessarily because I want money. And in this particular case, I would be glad to work for things other than money. And so that awkward conversation pops up in my life because also the person yesterday that I talked to about the project that she wants, I said, one of my she told me a bunch of dream jobs she's had. Like, I would love to do this, I would love to do that. And my dream job has always been, I want to make stuff and have people pay me for it, but I don't want to make what people ask for me. Like I enjoy coming down here and making things. I do not enjoy coming down here and making things for other people. I don't want to take orders and manufacture things because somebody said this is my design, this is what I want. I would much rather, if I was to turn this shop into a business, I am much more the type of person that I would want to make something and then sell it, right? Here's a thing I made. Anybody want it? That kind of thing. And I think that's called being an artist. And we've had this conversation before, like, that's a really difficult thing to do. Now, I know some people I know, like, privately, I know some people that they do exactly that. But it's still just a side thing for them. They still, for them, it's making, $5,000 to $10,000 dining tables. They'll make a dining room table, wait for it to sell. Once it sells, they'll use the profits from that to purchase materials for the next one, and they'll build another one. And they just do that as a paying hobby, and it pays pretty well. They can make, a significant side hustle income each year by making 2 or 3 of these dining tables. And that I think I could do. It's when I talk to a friend who goes, I need some help, what's your rate? Or how much would you charge me to make this? I really struggle with that. Because, I know what web developers charge. I am one. I know I know what the going rate for web development is in my area, right? And in my area, the going rate for web development is like half of what it would be in other areas. But it's still a lot of money. Like, it's still a significant amount of money that when you tell somebody, well, this is going to take me 10 hours and that's going to be this many hundreds of dollars, whoa, like that's a big slap in the face. I'm much more of the kind of person that's like, let me take care of it and then we can figure out, what that was worth to us mutually. Like, let me fix your problem for you, because if I tell you X number of dollars an hour and it ends up taking 2 times as long, that's going to suck, right? And if I end up telling you it's going to be $300 and then I'm 3 months later still trying to fix it, that's going to suck for me, right? It's going to suck for one of us in that scenario. So I'm much more inclined to say, let me do the fixing and then we can discuss what it was worth to us and come to a mutual agreement. But it seems like people are very, very often not willing to do that. Like, they much rather know up front. And, I think part of it is for them, if you're the person asking for the service, knowing up front gives you at least some sort of cushion. Like, whoa, okay, that's what I'm expecting. And I get that. But again, I don't do work for randoms. I don't take development work for whoever contacts me. I'm not open for that. I only do it for friends. And I'm not going to screw a friend over because that's just not who I am. So I don't know. I think I'm better at it now. I think that there are aspects when I make furniture for M's mom. I know here's the price, like just pay me and that's fine. I've gotten a little bit better at that, and I could say I'll charge you this, and I know I'm undercutting everybody because I know that the going rate is much higher, but I'm willing to do that for friends, and I think that's okay, right? I'm not sure. I think I'm better, but I'm not great. So I have to figure out the price of this other project and see if I can even make it. I think I can. I think I just need some kind of specialty hardware to make it all come together. And maybe we'll talk about that at some point in the future. That's all I have for you today. Thank you for being here as always. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, being amazing friends and wonderful people. I really appreciate you. And I'll see you again tomorrow. Today's word you should know to sound smart is importunate. It is an adjective meaning urgent and persistent in solicitation to the point of annoyance. Sisters are always drying their hair. Locked into rooms alone, they pose at the mirror, shoulders bare, trying this way and that their hair, or fly importunate down the stair to answer the telephone. Phyllis McGinley, an American poet. Importunate. Importunate. Remember when you used to have to run downstairs to answer the phone? This is not my children. I have sisters, and they don't do these things.